Okay, so here's the Corsair H100 installed on my NZXT Phantom case, and here's the radiator right there at the top. Now what I had to do, because I had Ripjaws, I couldn't really have it in a push-pull configuration normally. So, because if you put it in push-pull configuration with the fans on top of here, on top of the radiator, the size of everything together would run into the RAM heatsink, because these are Gskill Ripjaws X. So what I had to do was, instead, I just mounted the Corsair H100 at the top like normal, with the two included 120mm Corsair fans on the bottom pushing the air in, and I installed the other two right here, as you can see, on top of the case itself. So there's a tiny little bit of space in between the fan and the radiator, which is this one right here, but it makes contact anyway, pretty much, and it's still holding it up. Like you can see, I have it screwed in here, holding the radiator in place, so I can still have the push-pull configuration, even though the top two fans aren't inside the case. Because usually you would have the top two fans screwed in to the top of the base, the radiator in the middle, and the last two fans like somewhere down here, because it should be like, it would be maybe this thick, because these are like 38mm fans, 120mm by 38mm. They're pretty big, pretty wide. But doing this, I have the top two fans here on the top of the case, and the bottom two fans here under the radiator, and the radiator would be like right here, pretty much this whole length, this whole width. So I have it set up like that, and it works out pretty fine. I'm gonna turn it on right now just to check it, just to try it out. I got these two Lee fans at the top. They're pulling the air out over the case. The radiator, like I said, is right here. It'll be right here. And the bottom two fans right here, which are the ones pushing air in from the case into the radiator. And these two fans at the top, they're pulling the air out. I also have, let's see, I also have a mounted 140mm fan where the optical cages, the optical disk drive cages. I have a bottom 120mm fan, and the side panel has, you can see here, the two 120mm NZXT side fans. And I took off the big 200mm fan that was here. I took that off, and I put it in on the side panel, because I didn't really, I mean, I could have kept it on. I could have bought another big 200mm fan, and you could still install the radiator, but that would give me, I wouldn't be able to, it would like conflict with the heat sinks, the ramp that I have there. So I mean, because the size of the fan, it juts out like this much. It juts out like right around here. then with the radiator attached and the bottom two fans for the push pull, it would take up like this whole space right here, and that comes into contact with the heat spreaders right here. So I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, I could have tried to mount two of these up here for the pulling fans, but then that would not let me put back on these. I mean, it would not let me put back on the top case. I tried it, and this barely just fits in. I'll show you. This barely just fits in because there's you see that little bit that juts out there? It just barely comes into contact with that side fan, with the pulling fan. But I've already tried it and it closes. It just moves it a little bit to the side. It's a tight fit, but this way I was able to use 4 fans in total on the radiator. So you see the setup. These are pushing the air in to the radiator. These are drawing the air out. They're pulling the air out. And I got them all. I got all the fans connected to the Corsair. What do you call it? The Corsair heatsink, which controls the fans. Pretty cool. And that's my system. So if anyone is planning on buying a Corsair H100 for their NZXT Phantom cases and want to run it in push-pull configuration, and you have big old RAM heatsinks like I do, you can go this way. Just mount the 2 top fans on top of the case itself, then mount the radiator to the top with the 2 included Corsair fans mounted underneath the radiator itself, and you have the system working perfectly, no problem. Feel the air coming out there. It's pretty nice here too. I got the 140mm drawn in cool air straight into the system, and the air pushed in, and it's drawn in, pushed in by the bottom 2 fans. I also got a little extra fan thingy I bought. I don't really know what it's called, but it as you can see here, this fan pushes air into the hard drive bay, but it's kind of blocked off by all this metal or whatever it is, plastic. Yeah, it's metal. So not much air can get through into the system itself. So here, this little turbine is pulling in whatever air gets filtered in, and it's drawing it out through here into the system itself. And I also got the 2 side fans. This one is drawing air into the, let me show you. This fan is drawing more air into the hard drive bay, and this one is drawing air into the case itself, and this one is blowing air into the GPU, and also it draws in cool air so that the 2 bottom Corsair H100 fans are pushing the cold air into the radiator, and like I said, out through the top. And also I got the rear mounted fan to draw out even more hot air from the case, which I don't really need, to be honest, because if anything, it's pulling air out from underneath the the two fans of the radiator, but it's not really a big deal. Still keeps it pretty cool. Gonna check the temperature real quick. Let's see. So those are the idle temperatures. They're pretty nice, but idle temperatures don't really amount too much. Right now I got the system running at 4.2 gigahertz. As you can see here, right now it's slowed down, so I'm gonna start up the Intel burn test. I'm gonna put it on, I'll run it for 5 times. So as you can see, the multiplier bumped up. It's at 4.2 4.29 megahertz, which is a 4.3 gigahertz overclock. You can see the temperatures there. They range anywhere from 44 to 55, and so the average I would guess is around, across all 4, the average would be around maybe 55 from what I see. 54 Celsius at full load with Intel burn test. So they're pretty good temps. I had on my Hyper 212 Plus, I got temperatures of 65, 66 Celsius, and so on. An average of like 66 across all 4. So I got a drop of around 10 to 15 Celsius on average, maybe around 12. I'm also going to run Prime 95. So here I am running Prime 95. Let's see. Temperatures are averaging out at maybe 51 Celsius average, maybe across all 4 cores. Let's see here. Just going through the tests. So it says around 53 Celsius, 52 Celsius on average across all 4. And there it is. It's on test 2 right now. And right now it's at max load with Prime 95. It doesn't push the system as hard as the Intel burn test, but it's still a pretty good average of what you can expect with the H100. So pretty good temps so far. And also I used the stock thermal paste that came on the heatsink itself, so I'm probably gonna switch it out for some better thermal paste to see if maybe I get 1 or 2 degrees cooler off the temperatures. But for now it's pretty good. I'm gonna let it burn in, because I literally just installed it, so I'm pretty sure when the thermal paste settles in nicely and it's being used more, the temps will drop maybe another 2 degrees. That's what happened with my Hyper 212. Plugged it in and the temps were around 70. Then a week later the temps dropped down by around 5 Celsius, 3 Celsius across all cores. So there you have it. It's the NZXT Phantom case with H100 running in push-pull configuration, 4 fans. And thank you for watching.